Hey, it's your teacher, Mr. Pearce. We're going to go through our newest assignment, Fractions Assignment 7. It's actually a review assignment, and it's kind of long, so buckle in, get ready. We're going to go through all the skills we've learned over this past chunk of time here, so let's math it up. Okay. Question 1A. Write each as a decimal. Now, you might already know what these are as a decimal, 1/2, right? But let's do the math. Long division. Hooray! I love long division. So we'll go 1 divided by 2. Can we do this? No. We're going to have to add a decimal, add a 0. 0 is our placeholder there because it goes in 0 times. Does 1 go into 10? It does, in fact, go into 10. 2 goes into 10 5 times. And 2 times 5 is exactly 10. When you subtract, there is a 0 remainder. So our answer is right here. There it is, 0.5. So 2, question 1B, 3/10. Now, 3/10 is the same as 3, 0.3. You should know that offhand, but again, I'll do the long division. 10 goes into 3. Now, when we're looking at this, we got to think right away. No, 10 does not go into 3. We'll put a 0 over top, and we're going to write our decimal underneath, write our decimal on top. Now, 10 will go into 30. So we have 30 now. 10 goes into 30 exactly 3 times, and there is our answer. And we can show our work. 3 times 10 is going to be exactly 30, and you do your math. 30 minus 30, 0. 0 remainder, so that's where we end. 0.3, 0.3. 4/5. 4/5, you can get there pretty easily. You just make it 4/5 is what out of 10 times each by 2, then it becomes 8/10, which is 0.8. But long division, because it's so much fun. 5 outside the division bracket, 4 on the inside. It does not go into 4. 5 will not go into 4. We're going to need our decimals. So 5 goes into 40. How many times? I think 8 times. I know 8 times. Let's show our math here. 5 times 4 is going to be, or 8 times 4 will be, oh my goodness, 8 times 4 will be 40. We do our subtraction. Remainder is 0. There's our answer. I'm boxing my answer on top here. 0.8. Question 1D, 5/8. Now this one is a little bit more tricky to get there mentally. You think about what you know about quarters. You think you know that 1/8 is exactly 1.125, I believe, and then 5 of those. Yeah. See, a little more tricky. So just a little bit more than 1/2. So what would be 6/75? 1/2 would be 4/8 plus 1 more quarter. 1 more eighth, sorry. Yeah. Well, let's do it anyway. 5 divided by 8. Now, 8 and 5. That will not work. So we're going to need to use a decimal here. We'll write our 0, 8, and 50. Now that does work. 8 goes into 50 how many times? 48. So 8 times 6. 8 times 6 is going to be 48, which will leave a remainder of 2. And again, we need to... 8 won't go into 2, so let's drop down our next 0. 8 goes into 20 2 times to make 16. We do that subtraction, leaving 4. We're not done yet. 8 cannot go into 4. Let's drop our next 0 down. Of course, it's dropping these zeros down into place here. And let's make sure we keep our everything lined up. Now 8 goes into 40 exactly 5 times, and it equals 40. When you do that subtraction, it brings us to 0, and our answer is going to be 6.25. I think I said that about a minute ago. A little harder to get there, a little longer math. All right, write each as a fraction. So we're going to need to write these out, write a fraction line underneath them, and decide if we can simplify them. 0.25. Now, 25 cents is 1/4 of a dollar. So you can get there using strategies and what you know, previous understanding. But 25 100ths. So let's write this number as 25 100ths. And now we can look for the greatest common factor, which is going to be 25. 25 goes into 100 4 times. So this is going to be equivalent to 1 over 4. And the reason for that is because we can divide both the top and the bottom by the greatest common factor, which is 25. B, 0.125. Now what would this be as a fraction? It's 125 thousandths. So let's write this out. 125 over 1,000. Now, does 125 go into 1,000? I believe it does. And it goes in 8 times. 8 times. So the greatest common factor would be 125. Dividing the top and the bottom by 125, which equals 1/8. It's another good one to know, 1/8. You see that quite often, 0.125. You could have also done this by chipping away at it, doing it by 5s, 125 divided by 5 is going to be 25, and 1,000 divided by 25 is going to be, what is that? 40. And then, you sort of step back and do it by 5 again, or you could do the whole thing by 5. Yeah. But knowing math facts, that's the best route. Okay. Next one, C, 1/100th. So this is going to be 100. It's not 1/10. It's not 1,000ths. It's 100th. And that's actually as simple as it gets. You cannot divide that one further. It's just 1 over 100. 100th. 0.5. Now, if we write this at 0.5, it's 5/10ths. So we'll write it over 10. 5 over 10 is 5/10ths, and this is going to be equal to, because you can divide both the top and the bottom by 5. It's going to be equal to 1/2, 1/2. Greatest common factor. Interesting. This one's kind of Missing part of the 2 there. All right. So the greatest common factor. So the biggest number that goes into both of these, you actually just did them. You just had to do that skill for this one. So 3a, the GCF for 21 and 18, a number that goes into 21 and goes into 18. So you can use your math skills and figure out, hey, it's 3 times 7 and 3 times 6. Or you can use the ladder method and you can break these numbers apart into their, to find the biggest prime number that goes into both of them. So let's do the ladder method. We go 21, we go 18, we write our line there, and we look what's a factor that we know that's in both of these. There's 3 and 7 and 6. 6 times. Now, we look at the next 2 numbers, 7 and 6. Do they have a common factor? They do not. So the GCF is going to be 3. 3b, 6 and 30. So let's write 6 and 30, and let's look at these 2. The biggest number that goes into both of these numbers. Well, I know 3 goes into both of these numbers, so that's going to be 3 and 10. Oops, that's not right. Not 3 and 10. 2 goes into 6 twice and into 30 10 times. And I'm seeing there's actually another number that will go into both of these numbers. I'm just modeling what it might be to not know that 6 was the biggest one to start with, but these still have a common factor. So 2, and that would be 1 and 5. Now the next line, 1 and 5 here, they don't have a common factor. 1 and 5, greater than 1. So on the side, we're actually the GCF is gonna be 3 times 2. So the GCF is gonna be 6. 3 times 2. So if there's 2 numbers along the side here, you have to multiply them together. If you remember that strategy, the ladder method. 28 and 35. So the biggest number, 28 and 35. The biggest number that's going to go into both of these numbers is going to be, I'm guessing 7. And 7 goes into 28 4 times, and 35 5 times. Now do 4 and 5 have a common factor that's greater than 1? No, they do not. So GCF is going to be 7. 48, 32. Now, let's take steps again. Let's go, I know 48 and 32 all, I know they have a common factor of 2. And that would be 24 and what goes into 36? 16. 24 and 16. Now, these have a common factor of 8. And 8 is going to be 3 and 2 into these 2 numbers. Now, do 3 and 2 have a common factor that's greater than 1? They do not. So the GCF is going to be 16. 2 times 8, which is 16. Right? 2 times 8 will bring us to 16, which is the greatest common factor, which is actually interesting because I was going to say when I just did my math, like before I showed my work, I was like, it's 8. The answer's going to be 8. Whatever, I'll show my work. And it wasn't 8. It was 16. So it's a good thing I showed my work and didn't just throw down 8 and walk away. All right. 4, lowest common multiple. Now we'll use the ladder method for this as well, but I want you to think about this because we have to work this ladder method down to primes to get it to work properly. So everything needs to be a prime number. I think that statement's true. 4 and 6. lowest common multiple. So the lowest common multiple for 4 and 6. Let's go 4, 6. It looks like we start off the same way. Common multiple is 2, and when you divide 4, that's going to be 2 and 3. Now, we're going to have to multiply down and around the corner, and as long as they're all primes, which 2, 2, and 3 are all prime numbers. So 2 times 2 times 3 is going to be equal to 12. So lowest common LCM, lowest common multiple is 12. 4a. Now, interesting. 12 and 8, lowest common multiple. Let's write these out. 12, 8. Let's do their ladder method to get them down to prime factorization here. Sorry, just... Okay, 12 and 8. So 12 and 8 are going to be, to get to our prime factorization, is going to be a number that goes into both. Let's say 4. 4 goes into both. 12, 3, 2. There. Now we're at primes. So we'll do our multiplying around the corner. 4 times 3 is 12 times 2 is 24. So 24 is going to be our answer. LCM 24. 12 and 9. Okay, so 12 and 9. Let's show our work here. So I'm going to say 3. 3 is a number that goes into both. And that's going to be 4. And that's going to be 3. Now, this is what I said earlier. Now, I think actually in this example, it's going to work out to the same thing, regardless of if I do this step or not, because this is not a prime. 4 is not prime. But if I do this and go divide by 2, and that's 2, and we drop down our 3. So I've now broken this 4. I've broken this 4 up into its prime, which is 2 times 2. So let's do 3 times 2 times 2 times 3. 3 times 2 is 6, times 2 is 12, times 3 is 36, which we would have got there 3 times 4 times 3. Would have got the same place. It's always good to use primes, but in this example, it got us to the same point. There's our answer, 36. D, 16, 4, is it 4D? 4D, 16 and, 16 and 20. What number would they both go into? All right, let's do this, 16 and 20. Nice, I know that 4 goes into both of these numbers, and that would go in 4 times, and that would go in 5 times. And we can break this down by 2, and 2, and does not go into 5. 4 times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 5 is going to be 90. 16 times 5 is going to be 90. No, 80. 80. LCM 80. 4 times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 5 is 80. All right. Simplify each. So I want to now apply 5a, simplify each, and write your answer as a mixed number when possible. So 5a, we have to find the lowest common greatest common factor between 3 and 9. And it is going to be 3. If you are unaware, it should be simple with your mathematical knowledge of the timetable, number knowledge. So 3 divided by 3 is going to be 1. 9 divided by 3 is going to be 3, 1/3. 5b. 5b is going to be 15/18. So again, you got to think 3 and 3. I know 3 times 5 is 15, and 3 times 6 is 18. So we're going to be equivalent fraction here of 5/6 simplified. Now we have some improper fractions for C. So it's C is 18/12. We can think divide 3 goes into both of them, but 6 also goes into both of them, and that's the greatest one. Let's pretend we did 3 and it left us with 6/4. And we're like, oh, there's still a common factor between these two that's greater than 1, and it's 2. So we can then simplify to 3/2, and then we need to write as a mixed number, which is take that group of 2 away from the 3, and it's going to be 1 and 1/2. Final answer, circle it. D, 20/12. So 20/12, I'm going to say 4 is going to be the biggest number, and this will equal 5/3, which when you write it as a mixed number, it's going to be 1 and 2/3. Circle my answer, 1 and 2/3. All right, find the sum. We're on to the last 2 questions, 12 questions total. 2/3 plus 2/9. 2/3 and 2/9. So now we want to add these two together, and we want to make sure that we are being thorough and showing our work. Now with this one, the greatest common factor between these two, the lowest common multiple between these two is going to be 9, even though it's 3 and 9, the lowest common multiple will be 9. So that really means we only have to work with one side, and we can simply multiply this whole side by 3 and write out our new fraction. And that new fraction will be 6/9 plus 2/9 is equal to, we just add the tops here, and it's going to be 7/9. Now, can we simplify 7/9? 7/9 we cannot. They do not have a common factor that's greater than 1. Question, what is it, 7? 6b. Ooh, all right, a little bit more difficult. Some bigger numbers here. We have an improper fraction and this one here. And we're going to leave it improper, and then we need to do some multiplication. So we're going to do cross multiplication. The only way to get the lowest common denominator, lowest common multiple of these two numbers, is to cross multiply 6 times 7. We're going to rewrite our new fraction beside, and we're going to go times, I'm going to erase this, times 7 times 7, cross multiply, times 6 times 6. So 77 over 42 is plus 18 over 42. Now we're going to add the tops, and then we have to simplify. So adding the tops, it's going to be 87 plus 8 more, 95 40 seconds, 95 over 42. So 95 over 42. We can get 2 whole groups of 42 out in there. That's 84. So 95 is going to be equal to 2 whole groups and something over 42. Because I know 42 plus 42 is 84. Now 95 minus 84. 90 minus 80 is 10. And 5 minus 4 is 1. So this is going to be 11. 11 42. Now can we simplify that? It's our greatest common factor. GCF of 11 42. No. 42, 11's prime, so no. There's our answer. Question C, 6C. Now we have a mixed number in the midst in action here. So our mixed number is going to be a little bit different. And with adding, actually, it's not going to be different. With adding, we don't have to do anything. We just treat it like it's a different thing. So it's here, here, and here. So we're going to treat it like 3/4 plus 4 plus 1/3. Super easy. We're going to ignore it. So cross multiply 4 and 3 times 3 times 3 times 4 times 4. We're going to cross multiply because they don't have a common multiple that's lower than 12, and you have to cross multiply to get to 12. All right, so this is going to our new fraction of 9/12 plus 4 and 4/12. This is going to be equal to our answer of 4 plus 9 is 13. 4 and 13/12. But now we have to simplify that fraction, that 13/12. So it'll be 5 and 1/12. 12th. All right, 6D. Double. We have double mixed numbers here. 2 1/2 plus 5 1/3. Again, we will add our whole numbers and add our fractions and then simplify. Right? Not too much more difficult than just doing it any other way. So we're going to find our lowest common multiple, LCM of these two, or some people call it lowest common denominator. We're going to cross multiply again. So 3 times 2, 1 times 2, 2 times 3, 1 times 3, and we're going to rewrite our equivalent fractions as 3/6, 2 and 3/6 plus 5 and 2/6. And then we're going to add those together. So 2 plus 5 is going to be 5. Sorry, 2 plus 5 is going to be 7. And then 3 plus 2 is 5. 7 and 5/6. And we do not need to simplify there. This is our answer. That's it. On to the next. Question 6E. 6E. I'm trying to get my head out of the way here. 6E. There we go. 6E. 3 fractions. Oh my goodness. All right, let's go and work over in the margins over here. So we have 8 2, 5. What's the LCM of 8, 2, and 5? If you don't already know it, let's do our ladder method. We can divide by 2, and that's going to be 4 and 1 and 5, because these two have a common multiple, common factor. And then we can simplify 2, 2, 1, 5, and then we can multiply. I'm just thinking of a rule here. Okay, well, 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 1 is 8, times 5 is 40. So how do we turn, this is going to be our LCM, 40. So how do we turn all these numbers into 40? We're going to have to multiply this by 5. This is going to be multiplied by 20, and this will be multiplied by 8. Times 8 times 20 times 5. Okay, let's rewrite our equivalent fraction now. 4 and 25 40ths plus 60 40ths plus 4 times 8 is 32 40ths. All right. Right, that looks good. Yes, okay. 60 plus 20 plus 30, 110. 60 plus 50, 110, and then 5, 117. This is going to be equal to 117 over 40, and of course we bring our 4, our whole number, 4 and 117 40ths. We can then simplify. This is going to be equal to how many groups of 40? Not quite 3 groups of 40. It goes 80, 120. Yeah, so it's 2 groups of 40. So it's 6 and 117 minus 80, which will be 37. Six and 37 48ths. That's our answer. F. Question 6F. 2, 6, 8. Now, if we want to do this again, let's go 2, 6, 8. As I was doing my last one, I remembered when you stop. You stop when there's no more common factors. That's when you stop. Not when everything's prime. That still works, but you can stop when there's no more common factors. That's when you can stop and still get the lowest common multiple. Okay, so there's common factors between all 3 of 2, and that would be 1, 3, 4. And now you can look that there's no more common factors, and actually 4 doesn't need to be prime. This 4 doesn't need, as earlier I said it did need, but then it doesn't. It just can't be a common factor still, which 1, 3, and 2 have no common factors that are greater than 1. So 2 times 1 times 3 times 4 will bring us to our lowest common multiple, and that means 2 times 1 is 2, times 3 is 6, 6 times 4 is 24. Our lowest common multiple is 24. Then I will apply that here. So this is going to be times 3 times 3 times 4 times 4 and times 8 times 8. No. Times 12, because it's a 2. Times 12. Let's rewrite our fraction statement here. So 4 and 9/24 plus 28/24 plus 3 and 12/24. Okay. 4 and 3, these two right here. Let's add those together to get 7. This will equal 7 and something over 24. 9 and 28 is going to be 37 plus 47, 49. 49/24 minus 24. Ooh, there's two groups of 24 in there. So this is going to be equal to 9 and 48. 49 minus 48, which is 9 and 1/24. All right, 7, 8. Same deal, but now we have to take some extra steps with our mixed numbers. Okay, so, starting off with an improper fraction here. Interesting. It's good for us, though. Okay, so 4 and 3, so we're going to multiply, cross multiply, times 3 times 3 times 4 times 4. And that means we're going to be rewriting our fraction as 15/12 minus 8/12, and that's going to be equal to 7. No. Yeah, 7/12. And that's our answer. 7/12. You cannot simplify that any further. 7B. Right. Again, cross multiply. We'll have to go times 6 times 6 times 7 times 7. So this is going to equal 9 times 6 is 54. 54, 42 minus 49 over 42. Oh, they're both improper fractions. All right, so let's do the math there. 54 minus 49. So 50 minus 40. 54 minus 40 is going to be 14, and 9 minus 14 will be 5. 5 over 42. Can you simplify that? You cannot simplify that. No, that is as simple as it goes. C. You will need to do some conversion of mixed numbers back into improper fractions, which I didn't include up here. Okay. Mixed number into improper fraction. We multiply 6 times 2, which is 12, and then we add that here, plus 12. We can also find the cross multiply at this point to rewrite our fraction ready to be subtracted. So you can see my squiggly lines. We are first converting this into an improper fraction, and then we're multiplying, cross multiplying there. Okay, so we'll rewrite this fraction as 13 will be 13 up here. Let's put that there so we don't forget. 13 times 5 is going to be 45? No, 65. 10 times 5 is 50 plus 15 is 65. 65 30ths subtract 36 30ths is going to be equal to 65 minus 30. It's going to be 35 minus 6 more. 29 30ths. 29 30ths. I'll rewrite that. 65 minus 36. Yeah, 29 30ths. And you cannot simplify that. That's as simple as it gets. There's not much simplifying happening, which is kind of nice. Improper fraction, 11 over 8 minus 2/5. Gotta be ready for anything here. What is playing here? Let's try this one. Wasn't into that one. Change up the music here. All right. 40 will be the lowest common fraction, and we're going to have to get there by cross multiplying. Times 5 times 5 times 8 times 8, which will equal our new equivalent fraction of 55 over 40 minus 16 over 40, which will equal 55 minus 10 is going to be 45, and 45 minus 6 more is going to be 39. 39 40ths. That's the end of those questions. Do not need to simplify that. Now, this one, lowest common multiple, LCM of 3, 2, and 10. Is there a common fraction? There is 2, 1 and 5, and that's it. 2 times 3 times 1 times 5. LCM is going to be 30. 2 times 3 is 6. Times 1, 6 times 5 is 30. 3, 0, 30. So we're going to multiply this by 10 times 10. This will be multiplied by 15 times 15. And this will be multiplied by 3. All right, let's write our equivalent fraction, and it's going to be 8, and well, should we convert this? Yeah, let's convert it, and let's do hard math. This is going to be 3 times 8, 24, plus 1, 24 plus 1, 25 over 3. And this is going to be 3 times 2, which is 6 plus 1, which will be 7 over 2. So our equivalent fraction statement is going to be, this is equal to 25 30ths, no, 250 30ths. Subtract 7 times 15, 70. 105 30ths. Subtract 27 30ths. Okay. 15 times 7, yeah. $70, 7 times 5, 35, yeah, 105. All right. Doing some quick mental math there. So we have some pretty large numbers here. So we have, first we have this subtraction, and then subtract whatever's left there. But what I always like to do is add these two together, and then subtract this total from here, because it makes sense. So I'm going to do parentheses, and then write those two together. You know what? Actually, I'm just going to do it this way. I'm going to write the sum down here, and then I'm going to do the next one. So this is going to equal 145 30ths, right? So 250 subtract 105 30ths. And then I'm going to drop this number down here and subtract it. So 27 30ths. And our answer will be 145 subtract 27, which will be 117. 118. So 125, 118 30ths. And now we need to simplify this. 118 30ths is equal to, doesn't go into 120. 30 will go into 90 3 times. 3, and then 118 subtract 90 is 128, which is 28. And then they have a greatest common factor in 28 and 30 of 2, 6. No, not 6, 2. Divide by 2. That's my weird 2. Divide by 2. Divide by 2. So this is going to be equal to 3 and 14 15ths. E 14 15ths. It's always like to check my answers on some of those longer ones just to make sure. 3 4 6. Now all of these numbers go into 12. I could show you this with the ladder method. 3 4 6. There is a common multiple in here of 2, which doesn't go into 3, but it goes into 4 twice, and 6 3 times. Now there is no, well, yeah, there is a common. It's 3, which goes 1 2 1. Now we have our factors. Oh, sorry, like backspacing by accident. 1. Okay, so 3 times 2 is 6, times 1 is 6, times 2 is 12, times 1 is 12. Our lowest common multiple, LCM, is 12. So we go times 4, times 4, times 3, times 3, 3, times 2, times 2. So the only one we really need to deal with is this one here, because it has a mixed fraction. Let's turn it into a improper fraction. mixed number into an improper fraction. So we're going to multiply, which is 12. 12, and then we're going to add the 2, 14. 14 thirds minus 3 quarters minus 3 fourths minus 11 sixths. And then we're going to rewrite this. 14 times 4 is going to be 40, 56. 56 twelfths minus 9 twelfths minus 22 twelfths. Let's do this the same way, sort of breaking it down in order of operations here from left to right. First one will be here, something over 12, and it's going to be 56 minus 9. 56 twelfths minus 9 twelfths, which is going to equal, oh my god, my microphone stand here, killing me, which is going to equal that will equal 47 twelfths, and then we'll subtract the next one, 22 twelfths. 47 minus 22 twelfths is going to equal 27 25 twelfths. 25 twelfths. Now there's no common greatest common factor in there, but we can simplify this by dividing, no, not dividing, by just pulling out the group of 12. There's two groups of 12 and one remaining, 1 12ths, 2 and 1 12th. And that's it. Check our answers, 7F2 and 1 12th. Now, that's quite a bit of work. That's quite the review. And I feel like I actually didn't do all the stuff in there, converting mixed numbers to improper fractions specifically. This one I felt I left out, but that's okay because we're done and it's over. And if you needed help with that, I hope this helped. Otherwise, have yourself a wonderful class time, afternoon, lunch, whatever it is. Peace out.